Hi everyone, welcome back to this channel. Today I will be discussing and demoing how Python interacts with the Amazon Bedrock. Amazon Bedrock is a fully managed service from AWS that makes LLM and other foundation models available through an API. It just simplifies the process of building and scaling generative applications by providing access to varieties of models from AWS and other leading AI companies. Now, what we'll be doing is to declare a function, and the function is going to initialize and then passing a prompt payload and then the response, the API that I'm trying to call, and then clean it up. So here I am importing the Boto3 and the JSON library because I will be using them inside of the function. And the function that I'm creating is prompt bedrock. And what that function does is to send a prompt to Amazon Bedrock. And the model that I'm going to be using in doing that is going to be the Amazon Titan test lead, and then it will return a generated response from the model. Here, I'm initializing the Bedrock runtime, and I'm giving it the client variable. And with that client variable, I'm passing the Boto3 dot client, and then I am putting in the service name, which is going to be the Bedrock runtime, and then the region name, which is going to be US East 1, as I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. The next one is going to be to define the intended prompt, and I'm giving that intended prompt a variable called prompt. And here the prompt is going to be write a short positive story about a cloud engineer using AWS to build something great. And that will be the prompt that I want. Now, I am defining the payload, and in the payload, I'm giving it the input test, and the input test is going to just simply be the prompt that I defined earlier. Then the next is the test generation config, where we define the maximum token count, which is 4096 maximum tokens to generate. And then the stop sequence is going to be set to none. Temperature in 0. And then top P set to 1. Now, this is where I'm going to be making my API request. And then I'm setting it to response. The client, which is the client that I declared up earlier, dot invoke model, and then that's the client I declared earlier. And then I'm using the client.invoke model. And then this is my model ID, amazon.python-test-lead-v1. And then the content type is going to be application/JSON. Accept is going to be application/JSON. And then the body will be using the JSON library to do JSON dumps. And by this, I am just trying to convert the body from dictionary to JSON string. And then I'm passing the response, declaring the response body as JSON dot loads to be able to use the JSON library to load it. And then I'm cleaning it up using the output test. and then I will return. Yeah, that's the pass. That's the cleanup. That's the cleanup response. And then you see that I'm using the output test there. And then I'm returning that cleanup variable. And then this is where I am calling the function. Okay, now let's run this code and see what it does. Boom, we see that it returned a response. And the response, because of how we cleaned it up, is very clean. So yeah, that's it. In this video, we learned how to use Python with Boto3 SDK to interact with Amazon Bedrock, which is a fully managed service that Amazon uses to help us to interact with APIs. Thank you.